Once again to today's session. Today's session is powered by the Office of Teaching and Learning Excellence. And as most of you on the line know, we specialize in faculty training and professional development. If you have any questions at any time or any point, please reach out to us at otle@mail.waldenu.edu. Today's session is qualified for a nursing continuing education credit. Walden University is accredited as a provider of nursing continuing professional development by the American Nurses Credentialing Centers Commission on Accreditation. There'll be more information at the end of today's session on how to claim your contact hour. Today's topic that Leah Gunter and Barbara Chappell are going to discuss is reducing stress while using technology. And I think all of us on the line are with technology is our day in and our day out. So I'm super excited to have them discuss some of their tips and tricks while reducing stress using technology. Leah Gunter is part of our OTLE team. I'm so excited to have her on the line. So is Barbara Chappell. Leah Gunter has earned a master's in philosophy degree from Walden University. She has a dual master's degree from Utah State University in business administration and human resources, and a BS in psychology from Brigham Young University. Leah is currently pursuing a PhD in management with a specialization in leadership and organizational strategy here at Walden. As a faculty support agent at Walden for the past 5 years, Leah has had the opportunity to provide training and support, present live demonstrations of instructional technology and digital tools, and she's also assisted many faculty in resolving technical issues. We also have Dr. Chappell. Dr. Chappell has been a contributing faculty member for Walden University for 20 years. Prior to her position with Walden, she taught online and in-house classes in business and psychology at several online universities. Dr. Chappell also serves as a committee member and chair for dissertation students. In addition, she works part-time as a faculty support agent for us, and we love having her in the Office of Teaching and Learning Excellence. Dr. Chappell brings a vast array of academic and practical business experiences here to us at Walden. It's so great to have you both on the line. And at this point, without further ado, I'm going to turn things over to Dr. Chappell. Welcome.
Thank you, and welcome everyone. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's talk about, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, so you have to excuse my voice. Talk about technology and stress. As an instructor, I have been working online for 20 years, so I've had a lot of experience with working from home and the challenges and the stress and the changes in technology, which also causes more stress. So the greater use of technology means that you have an opportunity for more problems and frustration, as well as for additional things that you can do online. And in 20 years, Walden's changed quite a bit, and there have been, excuse me, there have been a lot of changes, a lot of good ones that have lessened my workload and my stress. In 2017, the APA focused on Stress in America series on technology. And that was actually right before the pandemic. They didn't know that at the time, but some of these things would come into play during the pandemic. There are high levels of attachment to technology that were associated with higher levels of stress. And we see this because we're attached to technology. We carry our phones. You see people in restaurants, and instead of talking to each other, they're playing on their phones. And so technology has just become an extension of our bodies pretty much. 18% of Americans identified technology as a very significant or somewhat significant source of stress. 20% reported that technology is more stressful when it doesn't work, and that number might be higher by now. 43% of Americans were constant checkers of technology, and again, I think that's probably higher. And 23% of constant checkers reported technology use as a significant source of stress. 45% reported being constantly connected to at least one device during a typical workday, and 34% were constantly connected on a non-work day. And again, I think those numbers are higher. I think most of us are connected at least 12 hours a day. Some people take their phone to bed with them. I don't do that. I turn mine off, but I constantly have it with me. And one of the main reasons I do is because I have my email set up on my cell phone so that if a student needs me or needs something immediately, I can address it right at that time. But then that causes stress also. Every time I hear a ding, it could be a student who needs something and I need to stop what I'm doing and take care of their problem. So on a 10-point scale, respondents who checked their work email on non-work days reported their overall stress level as a 6. Because I work from home and because I teach, I'm on 7 days a week. I try to take Sundays off, but sometimes I have to work on Sundays also, especially if I want to get a head start on grading on Sunday nights. Next, please. So unplugging from tech, how do you do that? Well, 65% of Americans agreed that unplugging is important, but only 28% report taking this step. So some ways to do that are no cell phones at the dinner table. Turn it off. It's easy to just leave it in the other room and you still can hear dings. But if you actually turn off the phone, you won't be tempted to look at it. And turn it off during family time. Everyone has some kind of family time, whether it's at dinner, whether it's watching TV, whether it's visiting the grandchildren who have their phone on while you're trying to talk to them or visit with them. And turn off notifications. Just about every app now has a notification. And I know a lot of times when I'm on an app, it'll say, do you want to set notifications? And I try to say no as often as possible because I don't want to be constantly bombarded. And limit your daily screen time. I know that my phone will tell me weekly how much screen time I've used. So you can check that to make sure you're not using more screen time than you actually want to. Next, please. So, some tips for using tech. Check that your systems are working before scheduled meetings. I always have some kind of a problem when I log into a meeting, so I always get on about 15 minutes ahead of time so that if I find that there is a problem, I can fix it. It's very stressful for me if I come in at the last minute and I see a problem and I'm stressing out about how am I going to get to this meeting on time? What do I do? How do I fix this? And of course, if I'm stressed out about how I fix it, I usually can't fix it. So it's a good idea to make sure your internet's working, your audio and your visuals working. So give your full attention to online meetings. Be present. Try not to multitask. Again, it's easy to turn on a meeting, turn on the volume, and then go do something else. That's stressful because you're bouncing back and forth, and you may not think it's stressful, but it actually is because you're giving your attention to two different places at the same time. And even though people think they multitask, well, you're not giving 100% to your meetings when you're doing something else. The other thing you can do is set an agenda when you're facilitating an online meeting with objectives and talking points and outcomes. If you have an agenda, you will feel less stressed out. So write out your agenda or put it online or put it on your phone ahead of time, and then go through before the meeting and make sure that you have everything covered that you want to talk about. That will reduce your stress when you actually start the meeting. And we actually did that today. We practiced before we started this to make sure that we have everything in order. So mute your audio and your phone when it's not your turn to talk. And again, this prevents background noise. I know sometimes I haven't done that. And even now my dog might bark when I'm talking. So if you hear, don't worry about it. My husband will take care of her. But so you want to make sure that you have yourself on mute, and that reduces your stress. You can step back, take a deep breath, and just concentrate on what you're listening to. Find a quiet spot to attend your meeting sessions or webinars. Excuse me. It's real easy to sit in front of the TV and attend a meeting, but it's stressful again because you're not focusing your attention on the meeting. I have an office, so I go into my office and I can shut the door and shut out all the outside noises, including the dog, if I have to attend my meetings. And that way I'm giving 100%. Next, please. Okay, some stress release activities. Try desk yoga. You can sit at your desk and actually do yoga exercises, and sometimes it's hard to remember to do these, so you might want to put up a list. Do breathing exercises. We do not deep breathly enough. I go to water aerobics 3 days a week. That helps me reduce stress. But one of the things that we do in the aerobics class is deep breathing exercises where we put our hands over our head, close our eyes, and take 3 deep breaths and exhale slowly. So you can try to do that. That actually does reduce your stress. You can use guided imagery. Look at pictures. For instance, an example is the background on my Zoom where I have the ocean and the trees waving in the breeze. Look at something like that to help reduce your stress. Go to your favorite place. Maybe you like to hike. Maybe you go to the mountains. Maybe you go to the beach. Look at some imagery that represents what you like to do and just sit back and relax. Roll your shoulders back and try to reduce some of the stress. Get up every 30 minutes. This is really important because you don't want the blood to pool in your legs for one thing, and you don't want your back to hurt. And this helps you stretch. You can walk around, do something on your to-do list. My watch tells me my Apple Watch tells me when it's time to stand. You might have a device like that that'll tell you when it's time because it's easy to get carried away while you're working. Sometimes I find myself sitting here for an hour, hour and a half, not even realizing how fast the time has gone. And then another thing you can do is follow the 20-20-20 rules. Every 20 minutes, you look at something that's at least 20 feet away for 20 seconds. This will rest your eyes. The screens are hard on our eyes, and you can get glasses that help you reduce the stress on your eyes. But if you don't have those, look away for a while. Get up, walk around, even just look up at the ceiling. Do something to keep your eyes away from the screen. Step outside when it's not freezing cold and burning hot and get a deep breath of fresh air. Take a walk around the block. Maybe spend some time in your yard looking at your trees and your flowers. Or just laugh. Think of a funny joke and laugh out loud, or go online and find a joke where you can laugh. We know that laughing does reduce stress. Have fun and be silly. Find your inner child. Color, play in the sand, have a popsicle or blow bubbles for a few minutes. One of the things I like to do is go do my puzzles. I have a 300-piece puzzle in the other room, and I'll just get up and go do that for a while until I get frustrated and can't find a piece I need, and then I'll come back to my computer. You can also walk for 5 minutes. That boosts your mood and increase your creativity. Walking will increase the hormones, the good hormones that help you clear your head and boost your mood. Next, please. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to turn this over to Leah right now. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Barbara.
Sure.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about the desk yoga and guided imagery. You may have heard of these terms, and sometimes different apps kind of use them interchangeably. But, of course, the yoga, the videos, and you'll have a copy of these slides, I believe, or we can actually put some of these links um, in the chat as we near the end of our session. But these links are to short videos that are designed, to do while you're at your desk. You can see they're 5 minutes. Some of them are 10, and there are a couple that are 15. One is focusing on better posture, like really focusing on stretching your shoulders, or doing things at your desk that can just help you take a quick break, kind of regather your senses, breathe deeply, and then allow you to refocus on the tasks that you're trying to complete. One of my favorite ones is the unwind after work, and you just can totally clear your mind. Um, and Lita just added in the chat there that a link will be, yeah, to the recording will be available later this week. So, but as you run through these exercises, or even just as you're sitting at your desk, think about your breathing for a minute. Are you breathing deeply? Are you even paying attention to your breathing? Sometimes when we're in a hurry, we tend to breathe really shallow, like Barbara was saying, and so sometimes we're not really getting enough oxygen in our lungs or to our brains to really, feel good and to feel um, at ease with ourselves and calm. So we highly recommend these are just some short videos that are on YouTube. You can search YouTube. You can look for desk yoga. You can search for guided imagery. The difference between like guided imagery and like other meditation exercises is that the guided imagery is a little bit more of an immersive technique where you're looking at specific, scenery, or the little the app is telling you to imagine something in your mind, and so it kind of helps your whole body get involved in the process. Focusing on the visuals that you're seeing in your mind for a more complete relaxation experience and kind of reducing some of that tension. So, on that note, we'd actually like to run through a quick little guided imagery exercise to just kind of see how that feels. So, are we ready, Lita?
This is a 1-minute guided meditation. No matter what's going on in your life right now, no matter how many thoughts are racing around your mind, no matter how the body's feeling, just take a moment to sit down and take a big, deep breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe in, feel a sense of taking in fresh air, the lungs expanding. As you breathe out, feel a sense of letting go of any stress in the body, in the mind, just feeling the muscles soften and relax. And close your eyes if you'd like to once more, breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just take a moment to pause. Allow the thoughts to come and go, and then just gently opening the eyes again.
I want to make my hand wet, and then
Oh, sorry for the ad. How did you feel? I believe everyone's been unmuted. Feel free to chime in. I see some hearts. And at first, as you start, any kind of meditation or guided imagery practice or even yoga, you might find that you're so sleepy because you're not used to relaxing. But as you use it more and practice it more, hopefully that will help. Were there any comments anyone wanted to share?
And everyone is unmuted, so please feel free to chime in. I personally have to say, it's all about the voice for me. I always have to find a voice that resonates, and this video is an amazing voice behind the mic.
Yes. No, that's
So
great. That's
thank
a
you for
great point.
sharing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and you may find that you like the images, or maybe you find you just want the music and you want to close your eyes. You can kind of explore and what works best for you and what you like. What I was amazed is how fast a minute goes by. That was just 1 minute. And it's like, I could do that. I can stop, for just a minute and relax for a second. And it has great benefits. So, were there any other comments?
Hi, this is Catherine. Can you all hear me?
Hi, Catherine. Yes, we can.
Yeah, just for that 1 minute, taking those deep breaths, I felt my heart slow down just a bit,
Oh,
just
that's
in
wonderful.
terms of getting a little calmer. Those breaths really are cleansing.
That's wonderful. Yes, deep breathing is so good for us. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Was there anyone else who wanted to make a comment before we move ahead? Oh, in the chat, the imagery helped for me as well. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. So I'm a visual learner, like I'm a visual person myself. And so if I'm just trying to focus in my mind, I get distracted, really distracted. But if I have something to watch, it really helps me focus. So yeah, do a little exploring, see what works best for you. We have a few apps on our next slide that may be helpful in getting started. You can search for, these apps in the Play Store, and then, like I said, the links on the previous slide were on YouTube. You can search YouTube, type in guided imagery or meditation or, relaxation. There's all kinds of videos and tools that can help you find time to relax. Here are a few. We have them categorized into organization apps that would hopefully help reduce a little bit of stress, and then some specific relaxation apps as well. So you may already be familiar that Canvas has an app um, that can allow you to check in. You can, check the discussion board, see how students are doing. Keep in mind it is a little limited as far as grading, so you'll still want to get to your computer when you're actually grading, but it's a great way to kind of keep tabs on the class and see how your students are doing or if they need help or anything like that. So that can be a great way to stay organized. Another app that we often recommend, and these of course are all free, the ones that we recommend are free, is Calendly. And this is a free scheduling app where, if you wanted your students to be able to schedule time with you, and you can also use bookings, which I didn't actually add to this list because there's so many options. This is just kind of a handful. But you can set up the times that you want to be available for your students, and then they can schedule an appointment with you. So that's a great way to save some time. Then you're not, going back and forth with your students. And, will this time work? Oh, no. How about this one? Just save some time. They can go pick the time that works for them within your already pre-established hours, and then hopefully save a little bit of stress there. Evernote, as you probably know, is a note-taking app, but it can just, be helpful to keep track of everything. Kind of similar to Microsoft OneNote, just kind of personal preference. Both have the option to access, across multiple devices. So you don't have to, have everything on your one computer. You can have it on your phone as well, and everything's synced. So which is really, really nice. Of course, Microsoft Outlook is great for keeping organized. You can actually create tasks from your emails, add things to your calendar to kind of keep track of everything. And Microsoft Outlook is now kind of combined with Microsoft To Do, so you can make yourself a to-do list. Some people love to-do lists. I love to-do lists. I even have a to-do list on Saturday. I'm kind of, it just helps me stay organized. But other people may, want something different. So, just kind of find what works for you. But the to-do list might be really helpful. There's an additional to-do list app called Todoist, which is also free, and it just kind of helps you prioritize your tasks so that you can stay organized and do the things that are the most important. As far as relaxation apps, the Insight Timer is is a free app that allows you to, you can listen to stories, you can listen to music, it can help you fall asleep. There's guided meditations as well. And so this could be, a fun way to practice your mindfulness and relax, focus on your breathing. So the next one is the Mindfulness Coach, and this one was actually developed by the National Center for PTSD at the Department of Veteran Affairs. It's a free app, and it offers a self-guided training program focusing on mindfulness and like relaxation, but it doesn't require any personal information, and there are no add-on purchases. So this one is also a really great tool to, practice some of that mindfulness and relaxation. My Life Meditation app, this one is focused on, of course, mindfulness and meditation, but it's designed to help you get into the habit of, breathing deeply and stopping to, practice these good habits of taking a break and just focusing on being calm for a minute. It used to be called Stop, Breathe, and Think because they really, their emphasis is when you calm your mind and your breathing, then it increases your mental focus. So this one is a great one as well. Pacifica is another app. It's used a lot for in therapy, or people use it sometimes to keep track of their feelings and behaviors, but which allows you to kind of be a little bit more mindful of how you're feeling, and when you're feeling uptight or anxious, as opposed to when you're feeling relaxed and calm. So that might also be very helpful in finding calm and relaxing yourself, finding relaxation yourself. The last relaxation app on our list today is called The Simple Habit, and it is a 5-minute meditation app, and it's designed for busy individuals such as ourselves to stress less and, just find more joy in life overall by, finding relaxation. So these are just a few to get started. Like I said, there's a lot of apps out there. As you search on your app store, a lot of times new ones will pop up, and you can feel free to explore a few. Like Lita said, maybe you don't like the voice of one, or maybe you don't like the music, or maybe you like the rain, or maybe you don't like the sound of rain. Just try a few out and find which one works best for you. Next slide, please. All right. So here are a few more additional strategies for, reducing stress while you're using technology and kind of overall. The first one is to develop an action plan for when stress hits. Like Barbara mentioned at the beginning, when you're just about to have a meeting and your internet goes out, do you have a backup plan? Can you use a different computer, or can you handle that meeting on your phone? Or is there somewhere else you can go? What's your action plan? And of course, starting meetings as soon as possible, or to give yourself some time in case something goes wrong, is always a great idea as well. The next strategy is to create a daily schedule or a to-do list, if that, if you like that. The challenge in schedules or creating to-do lists is sometimes we book every second and there's no room for downtime. So be careful. Don't overschedule yourself. Make sure that you schedule some you time. Make sure you have scheduled enough time for sleep, and a time to like actually eat meals. Maybe eat your meal away from your computer for a few minutes, so that you be sure to get that you time every single day. Additional strategies may be to host or attend a virtual support group. Get with a bunch of friends and have a book club online. Do something that's a little bit different, where you have some support from, your friends and others. Another strategy is to have an at-home spa day. Just take it easy. Just have one day where you're not trying to accomplish anything, but just relax and refresh and rejuvenate yourself. I think it sounds lovely. Another strategy is to listen to music and create specific playlists for different moods. Like I have a dancing playlist. So when I'm playing in the house, I want my dancing playlist. But if I'm getting ready for sleep, I don't want my dancing playlist. You know what I mean? So you find find songs that help you get in the mood that you're looking for. And then you can have that as kind of your musical first aid kit. Another strategy is to find a new low stress hobby. There's coloring books. I mentioned the book club. You could have, a book reading challenge. You could do it with your kids or your friends or online. You could take up crocheting or needlepoint, knitting, cooking, sewing, model making, gardening, just nature walking, bird watching, anything that you find relaxes your soul and is kind of low stress. And so just learn something new, study a new language, add a few phrases a day or something. And lastly, which I know for me is always the one that goes first when I'm stressed and I'm super busy, I always shorten this one first, but it really is probably one of the most important, is to take care of your health. Make sure you're eating a balanced diet and getting some physical activity. Even a 5-minute walk or even like 2-minute walk can really boost your mood and help you feel just much more relaxed and just better about life. So here's just a few more additional strategies that may be helpful to you. Next slide, please. All right, so let's have a little discussion here. Everyone has been unmuted, but you're welcome to post it in the chat as well. So our first topic here, how are you reducing stress while you're working from home? What have you found helpful? Feel free, if it's something that was already on the list, no problem, let us know how it's working for you. If it's not, please share, we'd love to hear.
One thing that my husband does, and I keep saying I need to do it, I haven't, is setting blocks of time on his Outlook calendar, just like 15 minutes to stand up, walk around, etc.
That's a great idea. Actually scheduling it. I know for me, if it's not scheduled, I'll do it later, or I'll do it after this meeting, or I'll do it after I finish this project. And then the whole day goes by and I'm like, I didn't leave my desk.
Exactly.
Yes, totally know how that goes. Any other comments? Oh, I just put in the chat. I try to go for a walk every day at lunch and again after the workday is over. Sorry, just unmuted my microphone on accident. Sorry. That's a great way to unwind from a busy day. Give you kind of a boost for the afternoon slump. That's wonderful. That's a great idea. Thank you. Another comment, I have a daily to-do list and make sure I have time to exercise. Yes, exercise is so important. So important. So yes, thank you so much for sharing that. All right. Our next discussion topic, have you tried a strategy or resource you would like to share? Kind of similar to our previous discussion question, but anything else anyone would like to share? Are there any apps or devices that you have found improved your working at home experience?
I'd be interested in that if anybody has any new technology or devices. Always
Right.
looking for those.
Absolutely. Anything else that anyone would like to share, or experiences or any feedback at all? Oh, there's
I
another
know
comment. Oh,
apps
go
are,
ahead.
sorry. Apps
Go
have been
ahead.
especially useful just because, as you pointed out earlier, we are on our phones so much, which I know that's not good, but sometimes when you're sitting and you're bored, but then you have an app, like a go-to app, then at least it's there and you can spend some of that time possibly meditating or doing some mindfulness exercises.
Yes. And
I also have the Alexa app, and I can tell Alexa to play any kind of music I want, so I can have, nice mellow background music while I'm working, and it's in the other room, so it doesn't have to be real loud. That's something I do. That helps reduce stress while you're working.
that's
Nice.
great. That's great. And Catherine posted in the chat, I sometimes look for YouTube videos that have relaxing music. That's a great idea. That's a good idea. Wanting to sit down and be calm for a minute, or getting ready to go to sleep, or before starting your day, whenever it works for you. That's wonderful. Thank you very much. All right. Next slide, please. All right. So here are some resources provided by Walden. Lita, would you like to talk more about the faculty coaching
Sure.
team here?
Absolutely. So faculty coaching we sometimes do group sessions, but primarily we do one-on-one sessions where faculty will reach out and staff with maybe a topic, an issue they're dealing with. A big thing in coaching that I see is time management. Just, how do I manage my time a little better? etc. And we'll strategize and work through that. Grading, like how do you get out of the grading fatigue fog that I'm starting to experience, and it's only great, week 3, but you can come for
Real.
there's many topics and discussions. And, we're here to support you because we realize, we don't have the traditional faculty lounge that we would if we were brick and mortar. So we try to provide the support and just the camaraderie here in our virtual settings. So if you ever have a topic, and if it's something that's outside of my coaching scope, I can definitely, send you to another resource. But if you have a topic or concern that you're dealing with, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach out to me directly through my email, which is just lita.downs. Or you can also click on the faculty coaching request form that can also be found on our OTLE site. Thanks so much for giving me a moment to talk about that.
Absolutely. I have attended some of those sessions, your coaching sessions, the group sessions, and they were just so helpful and so awesome. So I highly recommend checking those out.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great time just to collaborate, like informally. I always say it's a great network collaboration time.
Well, and sometimes it's really nice to know when if you're having, running into issues in the grade book, you're like, wow, I'm not the only one.
Correct.
That is always, that always feels good to know you have good company. So we appreciate all your help with the faculty coaching, Lita.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you need assistance with instructional technology and digital tools, please contact us, the faculty support agents at facultysupportagents@mail.waldenu.edu, or we would be very happy to set up a one-on-one session with you to discuss something. Maybe you don't want to, you want to talk about it because it's something that's more complicated. You can just go to the FSA scheduling app and set up a session with us at a time that's convenient for you. Leah, do you have anything to add to that?
No, that was great. I think I just would mention that we support both, Canvas courses and Brightspace courses. So feel free to come to us with, any questions. And if we can't answer it, which I think we can about 90% of the time, if we can't answer it, we will make sure that it gets escalated to the right team. We know people. We want to get it resolved for you. So we'll pass it along for you. Next slide. All right, and here's the references for the study that was referred to in today's session. Next slide, please. Any other questions or comments? All right, Lita posted in the chat for a complete list of the past and upcoming offerings of, that are coming for the Faculty Leading the Change series. She's provided that link, so feel free to check that out. Next slide.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Lita.
You are so welcome. And as mentioned, today's session qualifies those that are part of the nursing program for 1 hour continuing education contact hours. There is a link, I put it in the chat on how to claim those. If you have any difficulties with the link, please don't hesitate to reach out to Lifelong Learning at mail.waldenu.edu, and they can assist you with any technical difficulties you may encounter, but hopefully that won't be the case. I would like to thank both you, Leah and Barbara, for your fabulous presentation. I took notes myself behind the scenes, such great resources. I really appreciate your dedication and time to this topic. As mentioned, this will be posted on our OTLE site and also available in Commons. Please feel free to recommend it or go back and review it. Just a wealth of information. And thanks for those that carved out time to join us today. We really appreciate your dedication to Walden students, but also to yourself. You have to be healthy first, right? And well and rested in order to provide the best encounters with our students. So we really appreciate you investing in your time today. So I think that is it. And once again, I put that steps to claim the contact hours. And you just reached out and asked for that. So there you go. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And thanks again for joining. We'll see you at an upcoming session, I'm sure.